California approves wide power outages to prevent wildfires. Sacramento, California. California regulators on Thursday approved allowing utilities to cut off electricity to possibly hundreds of thousands of customers to avoid catastrophic wildfires like the one sparked by power lines last year that killed 85 people and largely destroyed the city of Paradise. Utilities' liability can reach billions of dollars, and after several years of devastating wildfires, they asked regulators to allow them to pull the plug when fire risk is extremely high. That's mainly during. The California Public Utilities Commission gave the green light but said utilities must do a better job educating and notifying the public, particularly those with disabilities and others who are vulnerable, and ramp up preventive efforts, such as clearing brush and installing fire-resistant poles. The plans could inconvenience hundreds of thousands of customers while endangering some who depend on electricity to keep them alive, like 56-year-old Calithea Miller. Although she lives far from wildfire danger near a shopping mall in Stockton, south of Sacramento, she relies on a refrigerator to cool her insulin and a machine to keep her breathing at night. The precautionary outages could mean multi-day blackouts for cities as large as San Francisco and San Jose. Northern California's major power provider warned in a recent filing with the Utilities Commission. Pacific Gas and Electric anticipates cutting the power only in truly. PG&E initially planned to de-energize power lines in at-risk rural areas but has since expanded its plans to include high-voltage transmission lines like the one that sparked the nation's deadliest wildfire in a century. The blaze last Utility equipment has been blamed for many of California's most destructive and deadly wildfires in recent years. Other major California utilities have similar plans that commissioners unanimously approved Thursday, also warning that outages could extend into cities under some conditions. California's three largest investor-owned utilities serve more than 150,000 customers who rely on life support equipment, many of whom are considered low-income, state senior. Bill Dodd said, "The elderly, people with disabilities and language barriers, and poorer residents in remote areas with limited transportation or communication are also at greater risk." Cell phone network utility representatives said they are doing their best to work with emergency responders and community groups to warn vulnerable customers, as the Public Utilities Commission required. The option to pull the plug isn't new, though state officials expect it to be used much more frequently. San Diego Gas and Electric won permission to cut off power during high-risk conditions after its equipment ignited 3 big fires in 2007. State regulator, once power is shut off, the utilities must inspect every de-energized line before they restore power, a process that can keep the lights out for days even after conditions improve. Both PG&E and Southern California Edison used their new authority last fall, with many residents and local officials upset that stores, businesses, and schools had to close for lack of electricity. Calistoga Mayor Chris Canning said his city of 5,200 residents in the Napa Valley was the first to experience a PG&E power outage, so he cited poor communication, which utility representatives said they are working to improve, but praised PG&E for now trying to keep makeshift power flowing to key areas of town in the next outage. Miller said her backup plan is a cat named Mojo who instinctively paws at her face whenever she stops breathing.
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.